The palace woman of Han becomes the wife of the soldier's cook by Tai Po. The poem consists of 10 lines and can be divided into 2 parts. The first part, made up of the first 6 lines, describes the talented woman's entrance into and exit from the palace. The second part, consisting of the last 4 lines, reflects on her life within the palace. In terms of style, the poem first unfolds the story and then moves into recollection. It skillfully intertwines past and present, creating a layered narrative that captures the emotional shifts of the protagonist. This technique of recalling events after setting the scene adds depth to the poem's meaning, achieving a finishing touch effect that enhances the overall impact of the work. The poet's use of the protagonist's recollection in the poem is particularly skillful and meaningful. Firstly, recalling the life within the palace serves as a contrast to the current life as the wife of a servant. Why does the talented woman reminisce about her days in the palace? It is likely because her present life is difficult or unfulfilling. Being married to a servant is naturally less prestigious than being a royal consort. When faced with hardship, it is natural for one to recall better times from the past. The poet follows this natural psychological process, using the spiritual anguish of life in the palace to contrast with the current difficulties, creating a nuanced effect that allows for multiple interpretations. Secondly, this recollection also reflects the poet's own complex emotions after being dismissed from court. The poem clearly carries an allegorical meaning as it was written after Li Bai's dismissal. By choosing a title from the ancient Yuefu that directly conveys the content, the poet intended to use this as a vehicle to express his own experiences and emotions. Throughout his life, Li Bai was generally eager to engage with the world. He aspired to achieve fame and win the favor of the emperor, attain a high position, fulfill his political ambitions, and then retire gracefully without seeking further honors. During the early years of the Tianbao era, he was finally summoned to the court, but soon fell victim to the slander of figures like Gao Lishi and was forced to leave Chang'an shortly after. Following this political setback, Li Bai gained a deeper understanding of the corruption within the Tang dynasty. However, despite his disappointment, he still harbored a longing for Chang'an, hoping to be called back and given another chance to realize his ambitions. This poem subtly expresses his inner turmoil. Politically frustrated but unwilling to resign himself to obscurity, Li Bai found himself caught in a painful conflict between worldly engagement and withdrawal, which led him to write this poem. The talented woman in the poem is dissatisfied with both her current life as a servant's wife and the coldness of palace life, yet she also reveals a lingering affection for the emperor. This mirrors Li Bai's own feelings after his dismissal. In this way, the poet uses the voice of the talented woman to express his own unspoken emotions. Once the unworthy one was a maiden of the Chung Terrace. Joyfully lifting my moth-penciled eyebrows, I entered the carnation-colored palace. Relying on myself, my flower-like face, how should I know that it would wither and fade? Banished below the jade steps, gone as the early morning clouds are gone. Whenever I think of Han City, I dream of the autumn moon from the middle of the palace. I cannot see the prince, my lord, desolate my longing, until daylight comes.
妾本重台女，扬娥入丹阙。自以颜如花，宁知有凋谢。一词欲阶下，虚若朝云没。美意邯郸城，深宫梦秋月。君王不可见，惆怅至明发。